Alrighty, what's up, college baseball fans? Welcome to another episode of the 11.7 podcast. We have the weekend number 5 preview episode, and we're also going to talk midweek. This midweek was awesome. Tuesday was a lot of fun with multiple and many different big time matchups. Not as many upsets as I wanted to see, but there were still a good handful. And after that, we'll do our weekend series pick 'em. I'll go ahead and announce the 6 series. It's Arkansas at Ole Miss, Florida at Tennessee, Arizona State at TCU, West Virginia at Oklahoma State, UC Santa Barbara at Hawaii, and Alabama at Texas A&M. Those are the 6 weekend series that we'll end the show on and give you our picks. Right now we have Jack, Dimitri, both with me here, and we have Noah, the what do we call him? The fortune teller. Is that his name? The fortune teller, Noah. He's in the bullpen right now. He'll be popping in throughout the episode, giving stats and I don't know, possible gambling picks and things along those natures. So he's getting loose right now, getting loose in the pen. But anyways, our episode brought to you by Home Field Apparel, number one sponsor, number one advertiser of 11.7, going on over 15 months now. They are the best. They just dropped some absolutely sick college basketball bomber jackets, and like I was so close to just buying one. I need to send Josh a text and be like, "Yo, can you hook me up with one of these?" Pretty cool. But you can wear them for baseball season too. If it's raining out or if it's cold, get you a Yukon bomber jacket and rock it to the field. So use our promo code. It's CWS25 down there in the right-hand corner of the YouTube. 15% off your first purchase. Homefieldapparel.com. Go visit them. And I think they have a couple trips planned for us potentially here in the future. Teaser there. So anyways, let's get into it, boys. Midweek. How we feeling? We want to talk about we got a timeout. 30-second or full, Dimitri?
It is let's let Jack lead the charge on yesterday's midweek. He knows all about it, I'm sure.
Oh man, shots already being fired because Jack's Wi-Fi was absolutely the worst I've seen since 2001. It was unusable. We could not go live for Club Bromaha. And it was all Jack's fault. Moved into a new apartment. So, Jack, the floor is yours.
Scott, should I go hand up? Should I be transparent here? I should.
100% transparent. People
Ben tried to save me. Ben tried to save me, but our Bromaha native, they know.
1% transparency.
They know how much I love them. But I do love, I love a girl too, and living with a girl stinks, gentlemen. It just does. I'm doing shared custody right now, friends. Living part-time in Charleston, moved a bunch of stuff into DC yesterday. And I played Frank the Tank on a Saturday afternoon. I might go to Home Depot. Not sure what the day has in store with us. That's what happened last night. This is a hand-up pod, and I had to take care of business up here. We went to Home Goods, then we went to Marshall's. And if I wasn't so sure that the All-American girl, Natalie Spalla, wasn't listening right now, I'll leave it at that. But we went and did some good grocery shopping and got the place ready because like any shared custody divorce household knows, I'm heading back to Charleston for next week, then back up to D.C., then back to Charleston. So I had to get had to make sure that my things were organized. So when I didn't come back up to D.C., they were in the front lawn. Hand up, pod. Do you appreciate the transparency, Mrs. DeLong runner-up?
Apology accepted. You have been forgiven, Mr. DeLongchamps.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
At the end of the day, Dimitri did come up with the best excuse in the world, and it was so that we wouldn't damage our RPI, which is just the funniest college baseball joke of all time. Like, hey, we can't play tonight. Don't want to hurt the RPI.
That was a good one. Bromaha will be back, friends. I promise.
What I do think helps the RPI is all the fans got us to 1,500 subs.
Now
so shout out to them
for
delivering on that. We are going to deliver Club Bromaha very soon.
So you know what last night was? Fans showed up to the ballpark. We pretended we couldn't put the tarp on the field. We let it rain. We got our ticket sales, and the game got canceled, allegedly.
Yeah. It was a good those tickets are renewable for the next Club Bromaha. So
what should I do? What should I do in return when we come back with Club Bromaha to make it up to the 17th?
I think you just piss your pants.
I think you go, and I'll join you. I think you go full suit and tie, and
now we're talking.
You have to also Ooh, what could be a slight
Suit
punishment?
and
How about
tie.
this? How about this? How about this? I'll go full suit and tie. And that lovely hat that Ben's wearing right now, that's right over my shoulder for podcast listeners at home. I've got 2 new Pencil Talk hats out. Okay. If we can get the subscribers up, I don't know, what are we at right now? 1,500?
Mm-hmm.
Do we hit 1,550, 1,600 by the time we pod next? Regardless, I'll give away 2 free Pencil Talk hats out to fans in the next Club Bromaha. If you're in the dugout and we're hanging out and we're talking, I will give 2 free fans that are subscribing to the 11.7 pod on YouTube 2 hats.
I love that idea. Hold on, Dimitri. I got a great idea. I got to blurt it out before I forget.
Hit it.
I love that. Everybody who enters Club Bromaha picks a 4-game parlay, hypothetical 4-game parlay, and the 2 guys that hit it get the free hat.
Now we're talking. We appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. I had to take care of the personal life, but we're going to make it worth it. We had 17 people sign up for something they thought was going to go down. Now you guys are going to go home with some hats. I love the hypothetical investment.
I will throw into the pot. 2 people that win the pencil hat will also get a free shirt of their choosing from our store.
Bang.
If you didn't want to do a hypothetical parlay and then have betting in it when we're doing interviews and bringing on guys that possibly could be players, would you want to do guess the total number of runs that are scored in this game that we're going to be monitoring the entire show, and then the 2 that get it correctly?
Ooh, that's good.
We could do. We pick 6 games. How many runs are going to be scored across those 6 games? And the closest person, they could win the hats.
I think we should do a nerfy.
No run first inning?
No, that's a pretty good one too.
Yeah.
And a midweek. But how do you give away? How do we declare who the winner is?
Yeah. See, how do you do that? You just put it in the chat, and the first person to respond, I don't know. That's tough.
I gotta be honest with you. The winner is going to become very prominent. Whoever's the most active in the dugout, I think
it's always Avery. Nothing's better than for anybody who's never been to a Club Bromaha. There's a guy named Avery that just throws out these 12-leg parlays that we end up rooting for every single time, and they always hit. The guy is a mastermind. I don't even remember Avery's last name, but he's very active in the Club Bromaha dugout.
Isn't it Avery Lynch?
Maybe
it's Avery Gaming, right? He's Avery Gaming. Is that
Avery Gaming? That's right. Yeah. Legend, absolute legend. This reminds me of the movie what's it called? The Internship. Yeah. When they're doing the interview on Zoom.
Yeah.
First we were in a blender. Now we're saving lives. What?
We're saving lives. What?
First we canceled Club Bromaha. Now we're giving away Pencil Talk hats. What?
What? It is the young bull Avery Lynch, by the way. I knew it was Lynch. That's the boy.
All right, so Jack, what happened yesterday? Let's talk about the midweek. What happened? What were your big favorite things that happened yesterday?
My favorite thing that happened yesterday is I think we all said that who's going to be the most likely team to lead the weekend undefeated, Florida State or Tennessee? And Florida said that they're going to take care of business. They're pretty dang good, huh? Why do we ever doubt Sully?
Well, Sully's not committing to the bit this year. Every year he commits to the midweek bit of just not playing his best guys, or at least not pitching his best guys. This year he's out for war, and he's just steamrolling teams in the midweek besides UCF. UCF might be the best midweek team in the country, but anyways, yeah, he goes into Tallahassee and just murders the Seminoles. So, yeah, that was impressive what they did.
Can confirm Florida is 0-1 in midweek games that I attend.
That is true. Noah was at the UCF game. He what was that? 2 weeks ago, 12-2,
last Tuesday, a week and 8 days ago. Yeah. By the way, cameras like this because someone got extremely mad at me for not talking into my mic, so I'm really going to make sure I talk into the mic this time.
All right. Well, don't yell because you sounded worse when you just yelled there.
Sounded like you're underwater.
Oh, so I need to. What about right here?
Perfect.
Beautiful. To whoever got mad at me for talking into the mic, I hope you appreciate this.
We're always making the minor adjustments here. I'll tell you my biggest takeaway from the midweek. I was looking forward to the Southern Miss UT Rio Grande Valley game like it was freaking drugs. I was like, give it to me. I want to see both of these teams. I think they're both not only regional teams, but could get frisky enough to win a regional as either a host. Not UTRGV is not going to host, but I wanted to see what those two teams look like, and it was a dang good game. 3-1. UT Rio Grande Valley was just like a hit away here or there to tying the game up. But Southern Miss and their pitching staff, once again, just they protect the home field, do not fade the facilities. Pete Taylor Park. It was a great game though, all the way around. Enjoyed watching it. It was fast. It was quick. Both teams were playing defense. Really enjoyed that one.
Ben, you just love overreacting to a team's early season success. Rio Grande Valley, I bet you, does not make a regional.
Really? They're number 1 in the RPI right now as of March 12th. Number 1.
Yep, and the facility's gonna send them where they belong real quick.
Can I just tell you? I think you need to put your mic back down. You sound worse.
Just
Really?
have to. Yeah, just
Yeah.
have to.
Well,
Yeah,
hey, we're all
Here,
about
this is what I
learning
can
here.
do.
We're all
This
about
is what I
learning.
can do because I can make adjustments too. I'm going to turn your microphone up on the back end of the system, and now you're just going to sound louder. So you should be
about
good to go. Try again.
How is that, guys?
That's good.
Perfect.
Rio Grande Valley will not make a regional.
Okay. I mean, that's not even a hot take or a
Yeah,
hot prediction.
Super Bowl.
I mean, yeah, it's fine, whatever. Yeah, I'm just saying, I'm throwing it out there. Let the universe know that it happened, that I said that. But so, what's your biggest storyline, Ben? That was a great game.
It was fun to watch. I actually sat and watched that game rather than scrolling from like through my phone or having 4 different screens up. I wanted just to intake that game to see how these teams played against each other, and I enjoyed it.
My favorite storyline yesterday was the Dallas freaking Baptist Patriot.
Yeah.
I mean, that team was relentless. I mean, 9th inning, Oklahoma State brings in their closer. What's his name? Goes backside Yaya, first pitch of the inning. Something happened. They found a way, a guy in third. They scored the run. Oklahoma State hit the go-ahead 3-run homer. You immediately thought the game was over right there. I was like, damn, they're going to lose. Nope. DBU, baby. They just find a way, and they ended up winning it. Hefner's son hits a foul ball pop-up. Up for debate if Oklahoma State should have caught it or not. What do you guys think?
No, you let that ball drop 10 times.
You let it drop.
Let it drop. You taught that like when you're 15.
Yeah, you let it drop and play for the strikeout there. I don't know. Maybe the guy thought he was in fair territory, but you have to have more spatial awareness than that.
Yeah, it was borderline. Like I was like, maybe he just didn't know where he was. It was really close, but
like your third baseman has to be helping you out there. Like, hey, drop it, it's going foul, something like that. More communication.
what was more impressive? Wake Forest ass beating over Coastal or UCF ass beating over Miami to make it 2 straight 10+ run wins over the Big Three?
Wake, because I think Coastal's really good. Yeah.
It was more of a statement for Wake. I mean, that was a team that fell out of the rankings, right? Are they ranked right now?
Yeah, they're ranked. They never fell out.
Oh, they are? I thought they might have fell. Oh, shoot, my bad. Sorry about that. Brain fart. But even if they're 13th, they still don't have the praise or the hype around the country that maybe they deserve. And yeah, they just walked into town. And I know that Coastal Carolina was promoting Dollar Hot Dog Night and they're trying to sell out the stands and everything. And it was a beatdown from the first pitch on. Yeah. So they were never even in that game.
Yeah. I have 2 things, West Coast things I want to say before I forget them, then you guys can run with it.
Heck yeah.
UCLA, they are
good.
They are for real. That lineup, I think, is the biggest lineup I remember UCLA having in a long time. They've always been a pitch, put the ball in play, get guys in scoring, but they just manufactured runs. They were really good at that for a long time. This UCLA lineup led by Roch, I think it's Cholofsky, right?
I know it's Rock.
I think it's Rock Cholofsky.
Yeah.
Cholofsky with a V. Instead of you pronounce the W as the V. All right. I just wanted to make sure. I thought, yeah. That guy and the rest of the lineup, ginormous. It's like a Polish type name, Ben. It's like an Eastern European, like Polish type name. The W usually is with a V. You pronounce it as a V.
So wait, how are you pronouncing it with a V? I got to hear it.
Cholofsky.
Yeah.
Oh, Cholofsky. Okay. I was saying
Yeah.
Cholowski.
Cholofsky.
I think it's Chovsky, but it is Rock.
Yeah.
Rocks.
ROCH. You pronounce the CH as a K or whatever. They smacked Irvine last night. Wasn't even close, dude. They looked like by far and away the better team. And also, Sandy, the Toreros might be the best 2-win team in the country. 2-14, gentlemen.
Yeah. I want San Diego to get out of their rut. And I imagine they will in conference play, but they do this every year. They schedule just nonstop, tough team after tough team. Now they've never been 2-14. Usually they're like around the 7 and 9 mark, but golly, they are talented. Don't forget about San Diego.
San Diego might be the 19-win Tulane team from 2 years ago. They're going to win their conference tournament, 20 games under 15 games under 500, and they're going to be in a regional. I could totally see it.
The problem was that 19-win Tulane team was not good. It wasn't like they were good. Like, it was a brand new team, basically. Brand new roster, and they just figured it out at the end of the year.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
The Toreros are old and experienced.
Right, but they're 2-14. They have 40 games left on the schedule. If they go 20-20, they're 22-34. They're still 12 games under. You get what I'm saying? They have a lot of ground to make up. What?
I'm predicting like a 25-15.
So
and then that puts them 3 games under.
12.
Yeah. Whatever. Hey, I need Noah to get in here. Noah, I want you to talk to us about Parker Bird.
Oh, that was
Noah,
my
can you hear me?
Week.
Noah might be sleeping. Is he stretching, getting loose? Okay.
No.
Talk about Parker Bird.
I was pulling up the UCLA game notes to get the pronunciation. But
okay. Well, we can pause on that. So Parker Bird, for any college baseball fan out there that doesn't know his story, he was a high recruit to East Carolina at a high school. In the summer before his freshman year, he gets in a boating accident and his leg has to get amputated. I believe above the knee, right?
Knee down.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has a knee. I think it might be above.
It was
the knee.
above. I believe it was above the knee, and it was a tubing accident.
Tubing accident, right? And
what happened? The rope got caught around his leg, or did he hit the engine or something? The motor.
I don't know. I don't want to speculate on any of that.
I rewatched the GMA thing they did today. I linked it below the video that I posted. They didn't go into detail on that, of course.
Right. But so he rehabs for over a year, and then last year he starts doing inter squads with the team with a oh my God, it's not an artificial leg. What is that called? What is
prosthetic?
Prosthetic. There we go. With a prosthetic leg, learns how to re-hit and run and all throw and everything. And I think he did fall ball and all the activities with him last year. Well, today, Wednesday, he gets his first action of the season playing time, and he hits a sac fly. So, no, I might have just stole your thunder there, but talk about it because I saw you tweet about it earlier.
Yeah. Honestly, you did a good enough job, I think. But yeah, I mean, there was a highlight last year. He came in for a walk. This time puts the ball in play, which, I mean, now the next step's to hit, and then when he gets the first hit, people are gonna go crazy. But yeah, the sac fly for an RBI was great. I just think it's a tremendous story to follow because one of our good friends' dad, he has a prosthetic leg, and I know he's rooting on the kid. It's just a very, very cool story because of how hard just how hard the work he's put into, making this comeback, because he was a very solid player prior to the injury. And I remember there was it was maybe a podcast story or something on that, but like the players on the team, they like, I don't know if I want to speak on that, but just he in the fall practices hits left and right. Like he is a good player, and I cannot wait for
Ask Jack how hard it is to hit with 2 legs. I can't imagine with 1 leg.
Oh, I was in the same boat, Jack. No worries.
Dude, here's the thing. Here's the coolest part about the story. He's gonna finish with a higher career batting average than me. 231. I'm telling you. And to Noah's point, the kid is so unbelievably talent. I know he's done a couple like interviews and podcasts with people, and I'd love to have an opportunity to talk with him. But I think the coolest part about the story is it never slowed him down, and it was never a bit, right? Like, hey, I just want to go out and play. He just was like, no, I'm good enough to do this. Like, and if he wasn't, I don't think he would be even trying to, or he'd want the praise to go up for and get a walk last year. Today, he's earned the right to pinch hit in a game against VCU, and they win big. But he's earned the right to do that. And it's a shout out to Coach Godwin, not only for honoring the scholarship, which is, hey, cool, right? Like having to give a scholarship in a sport way that, right? That takes decent human being. But him going, no. Like, let's chase this thing. Like, I think you can still contribute. That's, to Noah's point, the coolest part about this story is that he's getting ABs and he's contributing and he's getting knocks. So, yeah, when the hit comes, don't be surprised if, like, a couple follow after. Like, this is not going to be something that, like, they're just doing for show or for camera. Like, this kid can contribute, and that's the most fun part about the story.
Yeah, Cliff Godwin's handled it with the utmost respect and, like, to the game of baseball, too. Where it's not this charity case of like, oh, we're keeping this kid on the team because blah, blah, blah. Like, no, he was a damn good high school player. He still has the ability to see ball, hit ball. It was more about like, all right, let's make sure that mechanically you're good to go for game speed, but we trust you. Go out there and play the game that you know how to play, which fires me up, man. Like that stuff really does get to me. So I know Dimitri picked on Jack just a second ago about how hard hitting is with two legs.
Dude.
I like to brag on myself that I was the best hitter who had zero eyes. I would close my eyes and swing as hard as I could, and I could hit the ball. So try hitting without any eyes. All right.
No big deal.
Speaking of eyes, guys, is it just me or am I rooting for Jack's eyes to line up perfectly in the ring light on his glasses? I'm just sitting here watching this thing, I'm rooting for his eyes to go inside the ring light perfectly.
It's like the DVD on the DVD screen when it would bounce in the corners.
Chalowski, no V. Wow.
Bro, that's what I said. Ron Chalowski.
Wait, all this. Oh, by the way, I would usually let it fly, but all this shit talking and Dimitri mispronounced something. That's crazy.
I never do that.
Caglione.
But once again, though, Dimitri is right. Those W's are pronounced like V's. Take it from a Polish heritage.
Caglianone. We're back. I know how to pronounce these names, guys. Caglianone.
Let me just also say this: like, if we're gonna get really fired up with each other, Dimitri, you might get kicked off the show here pretty soon wearing a Yankees shirt in front of my eyeballs. Okay, this is your one and only warning. If it ever happens again, I promise you, I will move you off this screen.
You two, you got to get better. I mean, the Tigers are like 10-2 in October against the Yankees.
Are you talking about that?
Who gives a damn about the Detroit Tigers?
The freaking Tigers are half of the Astros' old roster, bro.
Yeah.
I don't mind the Tigers. It's the stupid Yankee fans, man.
Frauds.
Anyway, guys, shout out them Jags from Mobile, Alabama, South Alabama, with a fucking belt to ass over Ole Miss. That was impressive. Really good win for the Jags.
Do you remember, Dimitri, back maybe it was like 2 years ago when I was giving gambling picks, maybe last year? My number one rule was South Alabama in the midweek. They win every midweek. Don't have the stats to back it up, but in my brain, they don't lose midweek games. You can ask Southern Miss fans that. South Alabama always beats Southern Miss.
Yeah, they do.
I'll say this too.
I remember. So shout out to them.
That was cool for Ole Miss to go play at. You're good. We're good. We're finding our rhythm. No big deal. Not midseason form. No, I thought it was cool that Ole Miss went and played at their ballpark too. They invested a ton of money into that all-turf field, and they're building up around it. Ben, it's funny. We met those guys after their season ended last year in Hoover. Nathan Wood and the boys, shout out to them. And man, I think Gant Starling was with them as well. They've got some really fun pieces. I think Ole Miss is going to be fine. I know that was a beatdown, but we got to start spreading some more love to the Jags in the Sun Belt this year, I think.
For sure. No, they're a fun group. And dude, remember the Sun Belt used to run through South Alabama. South Alabama for many years, like when I was playing, when Dimitri was playing, they would dominate the Sun Belt. Good program there.
They smoked us in the Starkville Regional. but they were a wagon. Like, they were really. They were like a 45 win team that year. They were really good that year.
Yeah, and shout out to what was his name? Alan Lucky, their volunteer assistant that was there for 31 years.
Yep. Yo, how about this? Then West Georgia Wolves holding Tennessee to 5 hits last night.
That was impressive for a team that just moved up from Division II this year. They've actually played pretty well. I was looking at their schedule last night.
Not bad.
And dude, they're playing well. West Georgia has given Tennessee the best game of the season so far.
Yeah, that is crazy to think about.
West Georgia, 5 hits through 9 innings. I mean, nobody's done it all year. Nobody has done that all year. So shout out to the Wolves from Carrollton, Georgia. Good for them. Newest member of the Atlantic Sun. Anything else we're missing?
Yeah. So basically, I'm sold on Western Kentucky, and they're 15-1. Just absolutely crushed. Who was it yesterday? Southern Illinois, 23-1. And God, what's his name? I'm looking it up right now. But he hit for the cycle. Ryan Weidman hits for the cycle, 9 RBIs for Western Kentucky yesterday. I have a tweet back in like October or November saying that Western Kentucky is a super regional team, and the boys can play. Dallas Baptist needs to be on their best behavior this year in the CUSA because Hilltoppers, they're the real deal.
Yep.
Dang it, dude. I definitely just jinxed them too. Every time I talk about a team, Minnesota, UTRGV, everybody, they're getting jinxed.
Who they play this weekend?
Western Kentucky, I will tell you right now.
Probably 0-15 Eastern Kentucky, and they're going to get swept.
Oh, Ben.
The Toppers play Ben's favorite school in the world, UT Martin.
Oh, it's so happening.
The Skyhawks. Is it in Martin?
No, Bowling Green.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Anything else from the midweek, boys, before we preview the weekend here? Let me look.
Florida, Florida big win. Evan Kress, Florida State got hurt. That's a big loss for the Noles if they lose him to Thomas Jonathan.
I've never heard anyone call it that before. That's kind of funny.
Grand Canyon beats Oregon.
Yep.
Yesterday, Tuesday, Wednesday they get slaughtered, but Grand Canyon, they're frisky now.
They're the real deal.
And then today, Kansas hit back-to-back home runs, 5 in a row against Minnesota.
I thought it was 4.
5.
Oh my God, that's insane.
Kansas hits 5 homers in a row.
Could you guys imagine Chris Berman on the call for that one?
Can we talk about Chris Berman for a second?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I want to actually make a proposal here. Oh, and there's 2 other storylines I want to get to in the midweek after this proposal. Whatever happened to the college home run derby?
Facts.
COVID just took that away, and now we're scared to bring it back. I was talking, I guess it was last week, to Kyle Lewis, who participated in it in 2015. And he said it was the most fun time he ever had. Pete Alonso was there. Some of the winners of it, like Aaron Judge won it in 2014 or 13. It was so much fun on ESPN in late June in Omaha. Like, bring it back. Let's go. Come on.
What's homeboy's name from College of Charleston?
Freshman. The freshman left-handed hitter that won it. The first year of 1984.
Daniel Aldridge.
Victor Roach from Georgia Southern and this dude from College of Charleston were 2 of my favorite power hitters from that era. What was his name?
Daniel Aldridge.
Daniel Aldridge.
Ben, I'm sitting in the bullpen doing Googling. This might be a good sign.
Whoa.
No way. Click on that link.
It doesn't exist yet.
No way.
Hold on.
I feel like it would have already been announced.
Page not found, but why is there a page?
They have the hyperlink there though for CharlesSchwabField.com.
Correct.
Hey,
Correct.
can we broadcast it if they do it?
Let me do some digging later.
Do it. They need to get the baseball bat bros who are bigger than big on YouTube. The baseball bat bros need to get this put together. And we can do a prize money, give $100,000 to the winner so it incentivizes these big time guys to actually do it.
They would
Here we go. Here's the webpage.
$25 and a cookout milkshake. What are you talking about?
It's got to come back, bro. That was the best thing, the best product that college baseball put on.
What if they did a Team USA versus okay, so here's what I'm thinking.
They used to do that too. If you're about to say it, Team USA used to go play the Cape Cod All-Stars, the CPL.
Like something like that. The Cape Cod All-Star team comes to Omaha. Team USA goes and they play a game at some time during the College World Series.
That Friday off day.
It would be the day before.
Friday off day, home run derby, and All-Star game after.
Awesome.
Team USA versus the Cape Cod League All-Star team.
Yeah.
I would invest my life in that.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if we broke that news on our show?
They secretly didn't post it. Yeah, that's crazy. If you guys want to break news, we can break news. Big step for 11.7.
Newsbreaker?
Dimitri, pull up warrennolan.com.
Hey.
Big time news, fellas.
Ben, you're really
Your computer cut out.
Uh-oh.
There it is. On the Warren Nolan College Baseball homepage, we now have the 11.7 College Baseball logo right there, smack dab in the middle. It only took a few phone calls and a few texts. Look at all those ads, though. We need to up. Never mind. That's a different story. But it only took a few phone calls, a few texts to Mr. Warren Nolan himself. We wanted to sponsor his scoreboard, and we did. We've given him so much publicity over the last 5 years.
The official scoreboard of 11.7.
Yeah, he owed us a little favor. No big deal. But yeah, that was cool. We haven't released that yet, but the YouTube visitors and podcast listeners can know about it now.
Yep.
All right. Well, my two other things from the midweek. One, shout out UNCW. They packed the crowd. I know it was a lot of Tar Heel fans in there, but still, in Wilmington, it was a fun game on Flow Sports. I kept my Flow Sports subscription, and also for everybody listening on, I guess this is going to come out March 13th. Go ahead and cancel your Flow Sports subscriptions that you bought on February 14th for the college classics and stuff. Go ahead and cancel that before it hits tomorrow and they charge you another $40. But I kept my Flow Sports subscription, watched the UNCW game, and it was a blast. Dimitri has 15 minutes left on the show. He has a little date tonight.
Oh, I don't. No, I don't. Why do you guys keep doing this to me? I have to go to dinner.
Because you're the Riz God, dude, and it's one of your last nights in San Diego, and you're like, I gotta go in 15 minutes, even though it's 6:36 over there. What else could it be?
I have to go out to dinner. I have to go out to dinner with some friends and his family.
You don't have friends.
I don't have friends, but anyways, it's not a date. Why do you guys keep doing this to me? You are making people think I'm something that I'm not.
You're the Riz God. It
might
have been Avery. It might have been Avery that gave you that name. Avery from Club Bromaha.
Yeah, Avery Lynch started it all. You are who we thought you were.
Nikki Smokes can be go call Nikki Smokes the Riz God.
No.
I do want to add to the UNCW conversation. Hella turnout because their basketball team Sorry, Jack, but
Yeah,
they
thanks.
were over there in DC competing for, and what they ended up earning was an NCAA tournament bid. So
Shut up,
to have
Noah.
two presences in two different areas, very
Yes.
very impressive.
Yeah, no, it was sick. There was 6 UNCW fans in DC. It was dope, dude. Sick, Noah. Thanks for
Basketball school.
Big fan of the UNCW baseball program, not basketball this week.
Hey, what do you
One
say?
more
What do you
thing
say?
I wanted to talk about.
What do you say? We get into the pick'em, and then you guys can talk about whatever you want when I leave.
Yeah.
No, let's keep stretching this out. Oh, I know what it was. Cincinnati, they replicated the Kansas student section, and it was great. Sold out crowd for
Every
midweek.
year, they do that every year.
Cincinnati does?
Yeah, they do that every year. They sell out like one of their first few midweeks. They do that every year. We
You're
tweet
raining
about
on
it
my
every year.
parade right now, dude.
I know. I'm sorry because I'm trying to get to the midweek, to the weekend pick'em.
I've
All
got
right,
an
fine.
idea.
We can pick 'em time. Go ahead and pull it up. Share your screen, Dimitri. And as always, Noah hits lead off because he is the fortune teller. Keyword fortune. We have Arkansas at Ole Miss, Florida at Tennessee, Arizona State at TCU, West Virginia at Oklahoma State, UC Santa Barbara at Hawaii, and Alabama at Texas A&M. Lead us off, Noah. Get on base.
I love how we get that DeLong runner up and even bigger, bolder text. Jack, if it was pronounced like your last name, how would you pronounce runner up at the end?
I don't know. I think the last 2 times you've spoken, it's really hurt my feelings. How about that, Noah? You cool with that?
Is it runner up?
There.
No, it'd be DeLong Raw.
Yeah, let's go top to bottom. Welcome back, SEC conference play. I think that's what a lot of people were excited about in our Discord when we announced this series. Arkansas Ole Miss is a great way to start it off because I feel like Arkansas has been the steady Eddie in the SEC over the last few years, and Ole Miss they popped that national championship cherry and then disappeared for the last 2 years. But they're back, and I want to buy stock in Ole Miss. They have a talented, experienced starting rotation, but this is a super tough series to pick. Arkansas has lost at least one game in each of the road series last year. But I'm still going to take the Hogs here. I think they win it. The story has been about the offense and how maybe it's lacking this season. But since their Arlington weekend, DVH's squad is averaging 11 runs per game. And we all know how deep this Arkansas pitching staff is. So my series prediction is that Ole Miss wins game 1. Arkansas takes the series.
Dude, that is unbelievable what you just said there. I was going to mimic that 100% with Ole Miss will win game 1, emotional Friday night, and then Zach Root will get them back on track Saturday, and the Alloy brothers are going to keep mashing homers, and Arkansas would win the series Saturday, Sunday. You took it literally right out of my mouth.
Gentlemen. lot of bark, no bite here in this pick'em. Ole Miss loses game 1, game 2, salvage the series. Gabe Geigel gets them off on the right track on Friday night. Noah, can you confirm he's starting tomorrow, Friday night, right?
The game notes and the preview won't probably be written until tomorrow.
Right.
But I don't think they would change anything. Not yet, anyway.
I am going to phase the facility here. Home team is hitting at probably an 80 to 90% clip, and we can pick them for the last 3 years. But I got to roll with the Hogs. Arkansas, until they prove otherwise, I'm going to keep riding with the Hogs.
Yeah, I think their weekend rotation might be the best in baseball, but let's get Brazy and Swayze. I let Noah and Ben do all the actual breakdown. Can't you just close your eyes and wake up Friday morning and get ready to watch a Bianco hype video? I know over the last couple of years, everyone's been, oh man, him and Limo and Mississippi, they won freaking championships in the last half decade. Let's continue to give the man his flowers. And he, without question, gives the best pregame speech in all of baseball. I grew up watching those damn things, and I'm ready to watch another one this weekend. I'll take the Rebs at home.
Guys, I have a hard-hitting question here. Hypothetically, if they were going to get fired, who loses their job first, Mike Bianco or Tim Tadlock?
Bianco.
Tim Tadlock cannot lose his job. He signed a contract for life.
Yeah,
he can still get fired.
No, he can't.
No.
That's a lifetime contract. He can
You
buy out.
can get fired under contract. What are you talking about? You got to
No,
buy
you
him.
For life.
You can fire him.
I will say, and this is going to bring up a cool story too. I got a woo pig from Heston Kerstead at spring training the other day,
That's good.
which also anybody out there go check out Riley Cooper's answer on pens or pencils.
Hey, shout out to Noah. That was a badass video, dude. Thank you.
Hey Ben, you picked the Hogs, right?
Oh yeah. Saturday, Sunday wins.
Well, I mean, they win the series. Okay, next.
Florida and Tennessee. Let's see who wins this series. I'm a harsh critic of the Gators mainly because I consider myself a fan, but I still am a little skeptic of the rotation here for Florida entering the SEC portion of the schedule, and it's kind of being thrown into the fire with Tennessee. I don't know what's up with Clemente. He didn't start last weekend. Capola, not sure if he's going to start. He left that Miami weekend. But Aiden King looked tremendous last weekend. But I still want to see Liam Peterson in this type of environment. I'm not sure if I can fully trust that yet. We saw in parts during the regular season and in the postseason last year where he just still looked like he was growing into himself a little bit. Can't wait to see him throw. And honestly, the Gators pitching staff in general, because it's the Knoxville shoebox. It's the only talk that's going around on Twitter that this ballpark is small and they hit a lot of balls very, very far. I'm not sure if the 390 center field fence would stop it if it was 410. So,
Hey, Noah,
so
has anyone put out data that you have found to how many SEC ballparks these Tennessee balls are home runs?
They're all small. So I don't know what everybody else talks about.
Or
The only two that stick out in my head are like these are big parks for the SEC is Kentucky Proud and Oklahoma's Park. So
I would agree with that. Well, Texas has a big park.
Texas too, and the wind was blowing in that one day. It was ridiculous.
Interesting, because MLB they had that thing where they just home run in 28 out of 30 ballparks or whatever, and I'm curious what Tennessee's numbers would look like.
Yeah, I can find some college baseball park factors if you give me a second after I give out my pick. Volunteers, one of the best offenses, maybe the best in the country. We'll see how it holds up in SEC play.
Yeah, I'll go next. I really don't know much about either of these teams. Like they've both kind of like flown under the radar this year. Kind of surprised to see 16-0 by Tennessee. Did you guys know they were undefeated?
I had no idea.
Look, Florida's a great team. I would be crazy if you know how seriously I take this pick 'em. I try to win every single game. This is an easy answer. It's Tennessee until proven otherwise. Like it's no question. Just ride the Tennessee train. The fact that they haven't lost once and you expect them to lose twice ain't happening. Not at home. Give me the Vols.
Liam Doyle, Marcus Phillips. Sorry. Yeah, Marcus Phillips. It's the Saturday guy, right?
You're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see Tennessee losing this series. I am intrigued, though, to see Tennessee against some competition, SEC competition for 3-game set. We already all know they're probably 1A, 1B, if not the best team in the country. But this is where it matters the most, SEC play. I'm excited to see how Tennessee really look. I think they're going to win the series, but I would be curious to see how badly they beat Florida. Like what the games look like. That's what I'm most intrigued about. Florida, I mean, I could very easily see Florida winning the series too. So, but I just think it's too hard to win a series in Lindsey Nelson Stadium with that talented of a team.
Love Colby Shelton. Love Ty Evans. I think Florida's for real. I think it's funny that I was the leader of the pack, but for a team that really underexceeded, expectations in the regular season, but they had the greatest college baseball player maybe ever. You go on a big run into Omaha. You take that guy out of the equation on a team that barely went 500. And what are you left with? Well, I'll never question Sully again. It's a stupid thing to do. They're really good this year. They're going to win a game this series, but they sure as hell aren't winning two. Tennessee's too good, and I'll take the Vols as well. Clean sweep. So do we crown the Gators now or later?
Florida's winning the series, and everybody's getting eliminated from the Survivor Pool. I can see it now. It would make no sense, but it's going to happen.
How confident are you in your Vols pick?
Me?
Me? Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I'm very confident in my Vols pick.
Do you see any way for Florida to win this series?
I think they win a game without question.
I mean, they're good too.
I think they're very good. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I think they've got enough bats to play with Tennessee. I think they can play in a shootout on Sunday. I think Tennessee wins Friday, Saturday, and then they win.
I think I'm taking Florida. If this game was in Gainesville, I'm taking Florida.
Yeah, I do agree with that too. I think in the SEC, like Ben said it, I think last week, like
you guys would pick Florida if this was at Gainesville.
Ben, you said it last week, dude. If you take every home SEC team all season long, you're going to be in good shape.
In this very spot too, I do not believe Tennessee's played a true road game this season, right?
Yeah,
I haven't.
Neutral.
So those are spots like just gambling brain, like those are advantageous spots to fade teams in. Yeah, so just keep an eye on that, whether it's next midweek or next weekend. If Tennessee is the road here.
Let's play guess that line. What's hypothetically the line going to look like in Friday Night Knoxville?
Oh, Friday night, Liam Doyle catching all of this hype. For some reason this week, I saw a lot of 1-1 talk on Twitter somehow.
He throws an invisible, Noah.
Which would be a hell of a
invisible.
It would be a hell of a rise if he gets up there. So,
all right, next series.
Hey,
to him.
No.
But
I said guess that line.
I'd probably put like Tennessee minus 170 with Doyle on the bump.
It's a big number.
It's still bettable.
Not too big.
Yeah, it's not out of reach. Next week, Tennessee at Alabama.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Next series, Arizona State and TCU. Notable because Arizona State hitting the road here for the first weekend of the year. They've played 3 road games. They are 1-2 in those road games. This is a don't fade facility pick. I'm taking TCU. And it's not just because of that. I do want to shout out Jeremy Accardo, the new pitching coach over there in Tempe for the Sun Devils. They've been massively improved. He comes over from, I believe it was the Mets minor league organization. And they have a top 25 Sierra nationally. But the Sun Devils are only putting up 2.6 runs per game in midweek road games. So I'm going to take TCU here. The Horned Frogs, 10.8 runs per game in their last 5 home games, which have all been against Mountain West teams for what it's worth, for any people that really want to judge the strength of schedule there. But shout out to the Drinking Club, TCU.
Yeah, this was a tough series for me to pick because Arizona State, they were one of my first loves. Dimitri, we get it. You get 11 to 12 more minutes.
That's your weekend pick'em record. Got him!
I thought you were saying 11 to 12 more minutes.
Such a jackass.
All right, so like I was saying, Arizona State can hit it with the best of them. I want to see them prove it on the road, but Noah said it best. Don't fade the facilities. TCU knows how to play in their ballpark. They played a tough mid-major in Fresno State at home last week and caught themselves down, losing a lot of that series. Come back and win every single game. Lupton Drinking Club. I can't believe Noah is stealing this out of. Those are my guys, dude. You can't be throwing those names around.
I respect all team-centered, team-focused pods. They know ball. Like they are the know-it-alls of their team.
They surprisingly predicted the downfall of Texas Tech baseball this year. But yeah, give me TCU. I'll take them at home. I feel comfortable with the pitching. That ballpark plays pretty big. I think TCU's leading home run hitter has 2 or 3 home runs, if I'm not mistaken. They don't have anybody with 4. And Arizona State's going to try to lift some balls out of the ballpark, and it's just not going to fly in Fort Worth. So give me the Frogs.
Hey, guys, how do you do Arizona State's hand signal? Is it this?
Forks up.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, forks up. Arizona State, not even going to think about it. I'm fading the facility here. Big fan of Noah Franco. He's the next two-way superstar, I think. I mean, he was up to 97, I think, on the mound yesterday. and he's already hit a ball on top of. So at University of San Diego, where they played opening weekend 4 games, there's a apartment complex in right field. Bryce Harper hit a ball 452 feet in the Power Showcase in high school, and they have a big old circle with 452 on top of the building for when Bryce Harper did it. Noah Franco, they told me when I was there the other day, Noah Franco put it up there, and it was probably 460-ish.
Wow.
This is
In a game?
In game, throwing 97 off the mound as well. Jack Otani, whatever. Second coming of it, but I love the guy. Great player. I'm excited to watch him grow the next 2-3 years. But give me the Sun Devil.
Yeah. Oh wow, that was a hell of a switch up there.
We're just talking.
Hey, Luke Lupton Drinking Club, come get you some.
That's like Jesus. Like okay. Like okay. That was awesome. That was the most Dimitri pick ever. Speaking of homers, have you guys seen their home run celebration in the dugout?
Yeah, the frog mask.
Pick.
Hey, where all my frogs at? I'll take TCU. I like this team a lot. I like Colton Griffin and Cole Kramer at the top of that lineup. They got some really fun pieces. You guys know I bragged on Anthony Silva all year. I'm not going to brag on TCU's offense and then take the Devils. But I do think this is going to be a really fun weekend of baseball. I think kind of tells us a lot about what the Big 12 looks like because I think these are two teams that are going to be at the top of it at the end of the year. So I know it's that first weekend, but this could have implications of seeding for the Big 12 tournament. So I'll take TCU.
All right.
I love my Sun Devil pick even more now.
You should. It's good.
The next series we got is West Virginia and Oklahoma State. The road team has won each of these series the last two seasons when these two have met. So the interesting note there. It's tough for me to gauge how legit West Virginia is going to be in this spot because they do have some road series wins, but they hosted Kennesaw State last weekend. And I don't know if you guys saw some of those scores, very high scoring matchups. And going down in the Stillwater, Pokes are going to be able to put up some runs, I do believe. And Oklahoma State, top 15 Sierra nationally. And I really trust their strength of schedule compared to West Virginia so far this season. I do believe like Dub V's scheduled pretty well. And they've hit the road in multiple spots. I think they've got at least 8 road games this season. But I think I'm going to take Oklahoma State at over 8. So give me the Pokes.
So I'm going to actually fade Noah for the first time here. I was doing some digging into West Virginia because I forget what their student section is called, but they DM'd us on Twitter and we're like, why don't you guys ever show us some love? And they must have short-term memory loss because last year we loved this West Virginia team and tweeted about them all the time, talked about them all the time. And in fact, we had them already on a pick'em this year in Jacksonville. So I started doing some digging in their stats and it's like, what do we like about this West Virginia team? And it's kind of intriguing. Like they are almost a West Coast style baseball team where the pitching comes from all different angles. It comes from different arm slots and left, right, blah, blah, blah. But the hitting is very small ball-esque. Their leading home run hitter, I think, has 3 homers and the rest have 1 or 2. But they steal a ton of bases. They've already stole 42 bases in 16 games, but have only hit 17 home runs in 16 games. It's interesting going into O'Brate where we know the ball flies and you're going to see home runs left and right. If they can stick to like still stealing bases and like not trying to get too big, I think they can catch Oklahoma State trying to hit the sidearm lefty out of the ballpark when he's going to get you to dribble down the left or third baseline. They're gonna change speeds well, and I think this Mountaineers team is a good fit in this series. You have the ginormous human beings of Oklahoma State with forearms the size of Jack's thighs, and you get West Virginia who's going to come in much smaller but quicker and more athletic. I'll take a chance on West Virginia here.
My reasoning is very simple. If they would have beat Dallas Baptist last night, I was going to take West Virginia. They lost to Dallas Baptist. I'm taking the Pokes. They will come hungry and ready to go. I think it's very simple. They're going to be like kind of like a punch in the mouth. Hey, wake up! We just lost a tough one. Get ready. Let's kick some Mountaineer ass. I think it's very simple. Give me the Pokes at home.
I went back and forth with this one because Noah's right. The RPI and like the strength of schedule for Oklahoma State, like I feel like I haven't really gotten a good read on them because I feel like every time I see them playing, they're losing either a tough game against a top 10 team in the country. Back at home, though, they're dangerous. But to Ben's point, like this West Virginia team lost a lot from the team that we saw in a super last year with Randy Mazey in his final season. But they've got some really fun pieces on this year's team. And a couple that I actually broadcasted because they recruited the hell out of the mid-major world. Like a kid like Jace Reinhardt, who hits in their order, that's hit like 340. I think they have 7 guys all hitting over 300. Like, yeah, they're not slugging a ton, but their OBP as a team is over 400. And the Jace Reinhardt kid, who I watched play at USC Upstate last year, kind of personifies this entire offense, right? Like he's just going to get on base. He's going to work a full count. He always gets back to even. It's always quality. And I think in a weekend like this, where it's like the first real like conference test, that bodes well. So I'll take West Virginia too. I like the Mounties.
All right. We've got UC Santa Barbara heading to the island to play Hawaii. The last time the Gauchos visited the island, they got swept by the Rainbow Warriors. 2025 UCSB's identity seems pretty identical to me of that 2023 team. You know, they had Matt Ager at his best, Mike Gutierrez, Hudson Barrett, sorry, not Burnett, misspoke. The lineup, once again, is where I kind of have a little bit of question for the Gauchos and their strength of schedule when comparing the two. Shout out Warren Nolan, of course, 256th in strength of schedule for the Gauchos. Hawaii's played the 20th best strength of schedule this season. And ironically, what'd you say?
Just shout out Marshall Thundering Herd.
Yeah, and ironically, I think they've lost to like the least caliber program that they've played so far this season. They're 10-2 at home, and they've beaten Northeastern, Wichita, and Marshall. All 3 of those on the island. So I think this is a huge potential for a bounce back weekend in Hawaii. And I'm going to take the Rainbow Warriors here. They've already released their series notes too. Takamoto starting on Friday, and then O'Brien getting the start on Saturday. So interesting enough, UC Santa Barbara hasn't announced a starter for Saturday or Sunday. So I don't know if Flora is all right or what's up there. But he got popped last weekend against Northridge. UCSB surprisingly had their hands full in all 3 games against the Matadors.
The Big West is very competitive this year. Even the bottom teams, or projected bottom teams, gave hell to the top teams this past week.
Yes.
I'm going to do everybody a favor.
Yeah.
Give me the Gauchos. I still have a slight hope of a Hawaii regional. But the problem is, if we get a Honolulu regional, is it even going to be televised? Like, holy crap, man. How is this series not on ESPN Plus, not on Spectrum, it should be on MLB Network for all I care. Midnight, first pitch, throw that thing on MLB Network. Get the, whatever. It's besides the point. But, yeah, I know if I pick Hawaii here, they get swept. So give me Santa Barbara. If that gives Hawaii the best chance to win this series.
Guys, Cape Cod pitcher of the year from last summer, Tyler Bremner, top 5 pick, 11:35 Eastern time, first pitch. How is this shit not on TV? I need to watch it. I want to see this. It's going to be a great crowd, but no, the volleyball team, no offense to volleyball, the volleyball team is getting the Spectrum treatment this weekend. Just criminal. I mean, I don't know, man. Find 3 students to move some cameras around. Get this thing like when I hate the phrase grow the game. I hate it. I think it's a stupid phrase. But like growing these teams and the brand and the thing, this series needs to be televised. And it would have a lot of eyeballs on it. With all that being said, I really like a Hawaii at home. I talked about it. When they come off the island, it's hard. It's hard for them to play. They just don't play well. They had their first weekend off the island. I didn't think they played horrible at Riverside. I love them at home. Give me the Rainbow Warriors in Honolulu.
Yeah, I want to take Hawaii here. But I do think the Gauchos go down and win. I think they're a little bit too much. I want to take Hawaii. Now, I kind of want to go back to Hawaii because I thought I was going to be the last pick. I thought everyone was going to take Hawaii because of how badly we want it. But since Ben's on the Gauchos, it kind of leaves the door open for me to like bet with my heart here. I'm going to stick with the notes. I'll take UCSB, or excuse me, I'll take the Gauchos. God, I can't speak. I'll take the Gauchos. But I do have an idea, and I have a thought process about this before we move on to the next. ESPN Plus gives each school a certain amount of budget. We joked about doing the 11.7 Invitational on Twitter. There are certain schools that are doing sponsor reads in their Twitter posts for doubles, homers, strikeouts. There's got to be a way that we start to push that for these schools. Like, what if they just streamed it online and they were able to sell sponsorships on it? Like, what if 11.7 came in and said, why we want to broadcast this game? All three, we take a cut, we'll put it on, and whatever we pay, like we can pay your people to work it. Something to think about, because there's a way to do this, and it's really wide open for the taking.
Yeah,
I agree. The sad thing is Spectrum does such a good job with their broadcast. They just need to do it every single game, though. But I know there's other obligations and everything. It just sucks. All right, let's do the last series because I know Dimitri's got to run here pretty soon.
Alabama, Texas A&M, a matchup of strengths. It's A&M's top 10 pitching staff in the country right now up against Alabama's top 10 lineup in the country right now. If that was the narrative for A&M coming into weekend number 5, I'm not sure you would have believed me, 1. And 2, you would have probably thought that this A&M team was undefeated. And that's just not the case on either or. Are you buying low on A&M, or are you buying high on Alabama? I would recommend at all times you want to buy low. Here's the reason why I would just say back up my pick on buying low on Texas A&M here at home in front of the 12th man. Alabama is on their first road weekend series of the season. Last year, they were just 4-11 in road SEC games. So give me the Aggies.
If you would have said before the season, like, hey, week 5 matchup, Alabama at Texas A&M, one team's going to be 16-1 and one's going to be 9-6, like gun to my head, I'd have been like, oh, this is easy. A&M 16-1, Alabama's 9-6, and it's not. Like, it's crazy. Alabama has 7 more wins than Texas A&M right now. Well, the good news is the series is in College Station, and they have not played their best baseball yet. But interesting fact, this could be a series with the 2025 number 1 overall pick with Jace LaPurplish and with Justin LeBron James, the 2026 number 1 overall pick. Really cool stuff. Like, if you're just a casual college baseball fan, watch this series because College Station is going to be rocking. They're going to sell the place out. There's going to be bubbles. There's going to be chants. This one's more tough for me. I actually think that Texas A&M bounces back this week and they get right for conference play. But Alabama will win a game. And if they're going to win a game, it'll be Saturday because I love Alabama's Saturday starter. I got to see him in person in Jacksonville. So I think we get a rubber match Sunday, and then just the home field wins on Sunday. So give me A&M.
Saturday starter, you talking about Riley Quick?
Riley Quick.
Yes. I couldn't think of his name, but yes.
He's been stellar this season. I think his ERA is still under 1.
Yeah.
Give me Texas A&M.
Yeah, Prager wins on Friday night. I love Quick on Saturday. Noah, let's say the series is split going into Sunday. What's the hypothetical line? Let's play guess that line.
Ooh, I would probably say A&M minus 140 to 150 area.
Yeah. All right. So I see the storylines here. And I literally, these were the 2 teams. I did not want to abandon A&M in my conference pick 'em. I absolutely am in love with this Alabama team because I think that they're going to go on a Kentucky run this year. I really do. I'm going to take Alabama in this series. But then Monday morning, when everyone's freaking the hell out, Noah, that's when I'm buying my stock at its lows. And then this A&M team goes on an absolute tear. I just think this has more to do with Alabama. I'd love to see him wake up. I'd love to be wrong about this pick. I think A&M good for baseball this year is good for everyone. I'm just that high on Alabama.
That's cool.
We did it, guys. Dimitri, you can hop out. I think we're going to end up
You guys enjoy the rest
a little
of the
bit.
show. All my fans, all my haters, all my lovers, I love you guys. See you guys later. DeLong runner-up out.
It's a good show, boys. I'm most excited this week because I think we can take a breath now that all of the conference play is going to start. Well, 90% of conference play is going to start, and we actually get to see more even playing field matchups. And like, all right, what is this team actually built like? The A&M versus Alabama series, I think, says it all. With like, all right, maybe A&M is just a big game team. Like they only play well against high emotional game. Like there's teams like that all the time. Florida was like that last year. Any big game they showed up for, but other than that, like they get swept at Missouri.
They show up
So
at Foley and win the series against Georgia with their backs up against the wall.
exactly. Like so conference play is always exciting because it just means it means way more for these teams and for especially the coaches, man, trying to save their jobs. We bring up like Bianco was brought up earlier. He comes out and loses this opening series and let's say they get swept at home. There's a sour taste in Ole Miss fans' mouth immediately, and it's hard to get out of that. But if he goes and wins a series against Arkansas, everybody's gonna be like, "I never said he needs to get fired. What are you talking about? I never said that." So that's the interesting part for me is conference play always seems to mellow out the disproportional, maybe not disproportional, but the very volatile reactions for teams. Like, oh, we're the best team ever. Oh, we suck. Our coach needs to get fired. Our coach needs to get a raise. So I don't know.
I'd be curious too. Like, I think this is where like the fourth TV comes into play. Like to your point, Ben, where like hey, there's usually like 3-4 games you have an eye on, but by the end of it, it shakes out to 1 or 2. This weekend, all 6 of our weekend series pick'ems are freaking loaded, right? Yeah. But then, like as mid-major junkies, like I'm so excited. I'm so curious to see how like a Grand Canyon fares against Oregon State this weekend. Right. Like this is where like that Oregon State, like, hey, their conference play, they have to get really creative. This is a good weekend for both of those two ball clubs. The rest of the SEC, I think, is like going to be an overreaction. Like, hey, cool. Like it is what it is. It's opening weekend. You just don't know. Kind of like what we saw in the ACC last weekend, which is why I'm so excited about like North Carolina having to go to Louisville. Right. Like, do we get the bounce back North Carolina appearance, or is Louisville like as good as people think? So, yeah, pretenders and contenders is when we start to really kind of get the buy-in during conference week, which is always awesome.
Do you guys want to try to predict a unranked team beating a ranked team in a weekend series? I think that's always fun.
Hell yeah. Let's go, Miss Fortune Teller.
If you're on the YouTube, you can see like all the ranked matchups on Warren Nolan here. But like some options would be like Notre Dame over Clemson. Do you think that's going to happen? Or Miami over Wake Forest, Boston College over Florida State, Louisville at home against North Carolina, Kentucky, Georgia, Louisiana hosting Troy. That's a ranked versus unranked matchup. Old Dominion, like you know what I mean? Like we can look through some of these and let's try to predict who we think could be on upset alert.
I got my eye on a big one, but I'll let the fortune teller lay the groundwork.
Yeah, I'm scrolling. Man, for the exact same reason we were kind of picking against Cal and Stanford heading east. Now it's a return weekend as Virginia heads to Berkeley to play Cal, who looked pretty dang good against Duke on Friday. Friday night against Woolfolk, maybe the Golden Bears get them. I think I already said my pick, though, to pick them. I like Hawaii to not only win a game, but win the series against Barbara. And then Texas getting baptized weekend number 1 in the SEC at the Dude, right? Isn't that what every SEC fan wants to see, is just Texas not get out of there with a winning SEC record weekend number 1?
Yep.
Yeah, it would be funny if like Texas A&M and Texas were like an inverted line graph, and you know how like one starts up, then it's basically, when ESPN does the win probability charts and like you can see like whatever. It would be funny if like A&M and Texas like cross paths and then A&M gets hot and Texas gets ice cold and then they circle back around, because we all know it's going to be a Texas versus Texas A&M College World Series final. Best of 3 for the College World Series. It's already in the script. The college baseball script writers have already written it, and it's going to be the tale of hot, cold, hot versus cold, hot, cold, hot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to be inverted back and forth. I could 100% see Mississippi State winning that series. With Pico Cone going game 1 against who he's been fabulous this year, and he's going up against still one of the most unknown great starting pitchers in the country with Jared Spencer, who's been unhittable. But the thing is, with Texas, if you go in here and look at their Friday nights, like they lose Friday night against Louisville. What happened? Oh, the bullpen blew it against Louisville. Spencer was lights out, didn't give up a run. Friday against Dartmouth.
I do want to mention, not necessarily bullpen ninth inning. Ninth inning was a big 2-run error.
Oh, that's right. It was an error. But like Louisville came back and won the game. Dartmouth, who's 0-6 on Friday, had it was a 3-4 game in the eighth inning. Spencer was lights out, gave up 1 run, and then bullpen makes it interesting.
When we look back at the end of the year, by the way, when we look at that Dartmouth series, we are really going to be like, how in the world did that happen? I was looking through the stats the other day, like team stats. I always do this. Dartmouth is hitting like 198 on the season, bottom 5 batting average in the country. I'm like, how did they keep them 1-run ball games in all 3?
Yeah, but did you see who Dartmouth has played? Dartmouth's only played 6 games.
Yeah, it's Texas and somebody else.
Virginia,
probably really good pitching.
Texas and Virginia,
and they run into a buzzsaw this weekend. That's the only reason I do that.
But then also, like Jared Spencer pitched Friday in Las Vegas against Washington. He does his job, 1 run in 6 innings. Bullpen comes in. They give up 8 runs to make it a 10-9 game. And
1
then
run in that dry air, very impressive. Did you see all of the scores that weekend?
It was nuts. I mean, Texas put up double digits every single game.
Yeah,
but then even Jared Spencer this past Friday against Santa Clara, I mean, he gives up 1 run in I think 7 innings, and they win 4-2. Like bullpen almost blew that game too. So, like if Mississippi State can just get to the bullpen on Friday at home, I would actually really like their chances to win that game. Even though Texas has some big time arms in the bullpen, something about Friday night, I think these hitters, after they see Jared Spencer's electric stuff, anybody else who throws, it looks like a beach ball up there. Like they feel way more confident. It's like what they used to say MLB players would say once Randy Johnson left the game or Pedro Martinez left the game. After those guys were out, it didn't matter who they threw. It was going to be way easier to hit. So look out for Mississippi State. I think they can make a big splash opening weekend in SEC play at home.
I got 3. 2 of them will pander to my mid-major guys, but I already mentioned the one. I love Grand Canyon against Oregon State. I think the problem is winning in Corvallis is nearly impossible. That's the nicest thing I'll say, Los Beef. So don't come for my head. I do love Grand Canyon though, because I do think
the Grand Canyon is actually it's a round robin with Santa Clara. They only play Oregon State twice. They play them Friday and Sunday. They play Santa Clara Saturday.
Why is Santa Clara going up there?
I don't know, just because they can.
Because I knew that they had the 2 with Oregon. I thought they had 3 this weekend with Oregon State. That's weird. Well, I guess that's part of Oregon State getting creative with the RPI. Okay, well, never mind. Can't win it. Well, I guess you could. If they take 2 from Oregon State, does that count?
Oh yeah, they sweep them or they win both. Then sure.
Love it. The other one, Ben. Hopefully, we'll have some fun news to drop in a week's time. But UTSA against DBU. I think having to go on the road is going to be a little bit difficult. And I do think I've drank the Kool-Aid. I'm all in on DBU getting to Omaha this year. But the one that I love, there's got to be great value with Kentucky going down to Foley Field.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Kentucky's playing good baseball, man. They got a kid with maybe the best nickname in baseball in the Big Biscuit. Their weekend rotation's been really, really good. Nick McKay and Ben Cleaver, they're both like holding batters to like I think it's like an opponent batting average of like less than $120. They have the perfect recipe to go down there and win. I know they haven't like played a ton of really great teams, but Ben, you're gonna hate this. I think Wofford's really good this year, so like to go and beat Wofford was nice. But Georgia's been freaking playing with their food for too long.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Nolan McCarthy series. He transferred to Georgia.
That's right. Yeah, that'll be weird, right?
Yeah, that is weird.
I'm scrolling through the Big Ten now. I might pull up to Ray Fisher for USC at Michigan. That's just my weekend plan. Speaking of the team that we just beat today, though, look out. Iowa's like the hardest team to predict, but they host Michigan State. Michigan State was in the NCBWA poll last week. So if you want to count that as being ranked, there's so many rankings out there. Kate Obermueller, Joseph Jurwa, Big Ten Plus, sign me up.
That's a great under the radar matchup right there. Big Ten is so fun, man. Like, if I had to make a sales pitch, like, go get Big Ten Network if you're a college baseball fan. They usually play early afternoons, like a different time than the ACC and SEC. The games are competitive, and there's big time talent there. It's going to be a good league this year. Can I interest anybody in Duke beating Stanford? A Stanford team that went unranked and uncared about to number 18 overnight after winning the weekend series last weekend against North Carolina.
I cared
Like, they
about
have to travel back to California, and like Duke obviously has looked bad this year, but that's a team that, similar to A&M, had a ton of preseason hype. I could easily see Duke going out there and winning 2 out of 3, or even sweeping a Stanford team that, like, they split with Xavier. They played close with Washington, and like even had a couple close games against Cal State Fullerton. So it's not like this world-beating team. They just played really well last week in Chapel Hill. It's like, I could easily see Duke winning this series on the road, getting back on track.
It's a funny guess, that line. I guess I didn't even really like think about it, because it's a funny guess, that line, because a week ago, hell, 2 weeks ago, Duke's probably minus 220 to win that series.
Yeah.
Stanford starts to play good ball. Duke's kind of struggles out the gate. And now, obviously, Stanford at home, everyone's all in love with it. I could easily see that, especially because they're coming off probably the 2 most impressive mid-major wins of the midweek by far, beating a really talented Omaha favorite George Mason team today and yesterday. So
I would have jumped on the Cardinal at plus money to win the series. Now I'm taking them at even money to win the series. I'm all in on Stanford. I loved them in the preseason and still love them now. And they're doing all this without Ritaro Sasaki hitting bombs left and right, which I thought was going to happen.
He hasn't hit one yet.
No. It's been Trevor Haskin and there's another guy. There's 2 guys with 5 bombs for Stanford this season. If you're looking for just a spot play, though, UCF to BYU, the Provo in the mountains, that's the worst travel spot.
The worst for an outdoor sport, in the country, 1,000%.
Everything. Worst travel spot in the world. So if that gets listed, that might not be a terrible play.
Let's play another game real quick, and then we'll get off.
Love.
Opening SEC play this weekend. They play 30 games in the SEC. How many does Missouri win?
So I'm working on this article for 11.7, just like an SEC primer. I missed all of last weekend. Don't take it as an offense, SEC fans, but it's just very easy for me to just pick it up and go in SEC play, even though I missed Cupcake City during week 4, right? So I was working it out on the schedule, and I landed on 921 for Missouri. That was being very generous and giving them 1 win, stealing a couple of series, just salvaging it on road trips. I'd probably say they land around 723.
I'll take the under.
I'll take the under. No, you're being very generous there, dude. This team just lost or split a series with St. Bonaventure. They've lost to Florida A&M. They've lost to Alabama State.
Yeah,
this is not a good team.
What did they do last year, though? Last year, they still won 9 SEC games. They lost the series to Northern Kentucky, who turned out to be a good team, right? They dropped another game. I can't remember the name off the top of my head from last season, too. Like, they have exceeded the, wow, my bar was low for you, but holy, like, yeah, that finished that meme. But, you know, I still think that they're going to be able to steal a couple of games in the SEC this year.
I will take under 5.5. That's how confident. They're either winning 5-4, 3-2, or 1, or maybe do they go 0-30? What do you put the chances at them going 0-30?
What if I put a?
They won't. But is there a 1% chance?
No, guarantee 4 wins.
Let me look through the schedule here.
If you guarantee, see,
I'll
that's
I'll pinpoint you a couple of wins that Missouri will get. Right.
yeah.
All right. I'm listing them in my head. You can talk first. I'm gonna list them.
Is Missouri better off throwing their ace on Sunday?
Their ace has Tommy John, so I don't know who is it. Ian Lose who would be their top guy? Yeah, maybe throw him Sunday.
Maybe go like 3-2-1 in the rotation. Try to, I don't know, 3-1-2.
Which I think Lose is still throwing Saturdays, right? Because they didn't. I don't think they switched him off of Friday.
Yeah, no, he's still throwing Saturdays. It's not that Missouri is a bad team in the relativity of college baseball. Like they would be above 500 in the SoCon. They would probably win the SoCon.
Whoa. In the Big Ten, the SoCon, it's still like an SEC money. Like they still got that money. It's just
I know, but dude, they've looked bad. They looked bad against some bad teams.
But
I'm saying like
against the Big Ten.
I don't know.
Close.
I think they might be below 500 in the Big Ten. But my point is, they're not ready for this SEC gauntlet of a schedule. It's just, and this is not us hating on Missouri. It's just they're not ready. They're not ready to do it. They're going to get swept in Baton Rouge.
So I was not prepared to come in here trying to defend Missouri, but for what it's worth,
you being able to name weekend starters for Missouri shows how little I know about college baseball and how much.
Ole Miss, I'm gonna throw them under the bus first, and then I'm gonna take you to Texas, Oklahoma. Two former Big 12 foes they might be able to steal one from. I'll throw them on the short list along with the fourth one here is Georgia on the road in Como where it could be like not ideal weather-wise and you're relying on big bombs.
Yeah.
Missouri takes a game in the game.
They take the series there. Yeah.
Oh. All right.
Anyways. Do you guys have any final thoughts before we end the show here?
That's our yearly Missouri talk. Yeah,
they've popped on the show like 2 or 3 times now. So
that was what I was going to say. You know, it did just pop on the show for the first time that we have not done in the 25 slate yet. The ever famous Ben theory of the hot, cold, hot. We haven't talked about it yet. Yeah. We're an officially cold, hot, cold theory. That's exactly where we are. We're in the second phase.
The hot, cold, hot theory never fails, ever. The only team that somewhat questions it, the 2023 LSU team, it's not like they got cold in the middle of the year, but they had
some bullpen questions that they were trying to
like they were about as lukewarm as we would give them as a cold. But every year, like the national champion goes through some struggles in the middle part of the season. We're almost there. Like if you just play good the first 15 to 18 games, you can afford a 10 to 12 game stretch where you're cold and then you heat back up towards the end. But the hot, cold, hot theory, real thing. Never fails.
The best.
Ask Coastal Carolina 2016. Worked for them. All right. Well, we will be back Sunday night, recap the weekend, do the mid-major top 25, preview the midweek, all that fun stuff. And hopefully release our first Club Bromaha live show. It's coming. Other than that, I got nothing else. So appreciate everybody for listening. Follow us on Twitter. We'll be active all weekend. And Friday, my son turns 3 years old. We're taking him to the zoo. He's going to love it. He's been talking about animals nonstop. So I will be at the Jacksonville Zoo on Friday.
That's awesome.
All right. See you, everybody. I'll be there Saturday, not Friday. Saturday.
Much love, boys.
No, wait, Friday. I don't know. One of those days. See you.